Say I won't.
Why y'all scared to be different?
Say I won't.
Why y'all scared to be different?
Hi, I'm Javaune Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now for today's topic, we'll be talking about why can't some men handle rejection well. This has been on the minds of many persons over many years, and so I'm seeking to tackle something that many persons have asked the question about. My friend in particular asked me this question, and so I decided that I would try and tackle this question one day on Speak Up, and today is the day.
Hey, yo, baby girl, watch out now. Me for be a plumber, you know. Lay pipes all over your body, just lay. Got your running faucets, water, wet up. So, yes, mama, do the thing now.
Sir, I'm not interested.
I bet you're interested if we pack out a Kyle of cash and give you. So, now get what I want to get, man.
For starters, no one likes rejection. However, I believe men who you find not handling rejection well are the ones who, when you analyze them, they are the ones who have self-esteem issues. And I believe this stems from somewhere. Most times it's stemming from a previous relationship that didn't go too well, or it was tied somehow to their childhood experience. And I believe self-confidence, it should be nurtured in the home. When you have adults who they lack self-confidence, you realize that it has something to do with the way in which they were grown. And yes, I believe this can play a major part in how they handle rejection as an adult.
It's a thing where them call ego. Men egos are very large, I guess, and sometimes they like see a girl when them ego like, you see me, or when them kind of attracted to in a way and them approach and get rejected, you see me. Them a make it look like say, oh, why she a move like she better than me, you get me? And I guess that's what hurts them, and them they will take it very well. It's like nobody likes being told no, you see me. The same principle. You see me, if you want something, you ask for it. You expect an answer yes. You see me, if you get no, you go cry, you go throw a tantrum.
With my limited experience, I think that men do not handle rejection well because of perhaps their past. Maybe they have been rejected a lot, and at this point they are insecure about themselves, but then they take the risk to put themselves out there and just to be bashed. I think all persons at some point will not handle rejection well, but it's just that males are the ones to put themselves out there more. So if it is like a relationship type of situation, then the female will not be the one to make the first move, the man will. But then if she doesn't feel that way, then she'll reject him, and he will have to face that on his own. But you won't see most females putting themselves out there in order to be rejected.
Alright, so welcome back, guys. Now, as you would have heard in these voice notes, one of the things that we actually saw, or a couple of the things we actually saw coming out quite often, was ego and, you know, one's self-esteem as to how they view themselves, you know, them having perhaps issues with these things. I totally agree with this, as I believe that, you know, ego has a lot to do with why some men can't handle rejection well, because they're in this, you know, playful world or imaginary world where they believe that, hey, if it is that I have the goods, then I must be able to capture a female of my liking. If it is that I have the money, if it is that I have the look, if it is that I have what it takes to handle my business, then why on earth would she actually turn me down? When it is that you have such confidence and you approach a female or approach anyone in general, then you realize that, you know, this person might have different views as to why they're just not interested in you. Perhaps she already has a boyfriend, perhaps she's not interested in any guy at all, you know, perhaps she's just trying to live her single life, trying to live for the Lord, you know. And we know that females tend to be, you know, real focused as it pertains to their spiritual life when encountering God. So quite often that's even the reason as to why some females will turn you down, and sometimes they just really and truly don't see certain qualities in you, you know, right there and then, to be honest, you know, or they perhaps are looking out for something in the physical that you don't have. And sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves, and don't fool ourselves. Don't go around accepting this sort of relationship, friendship type of situation where this person is expecting you to fall in love with them someday, go on this romantic journey with them one day, but in actuality you actually see them as a friend only and nothing else. That can be problematic in the long run. So it's best for us to just be honest. That's what we find happening a lot. Persons just see persons, and they might shoot a shot, as some persons might refer to it as, but shooting a shot does not mean that you'll actually connect. This person might just not be interested in you. So whether or not you have ego or self-esteem issues, you just have to keep that in mind, right? Another thing that we actually saw coming out was socialization, and this is a true thing. So socialization is basically how a person is grown based on their environment. So let's say mommy and daddy grew them up to be a stunner, mommy and daddy grew them up to be a hot boy, and a hot boy in such a way that he has never been turned down by anybody at all, but you are actually the first girl that actually turned him down. Now, based on his past, he's like, I usually get what I want, so why can't I get what I want? No. And he'll be persistent in his approach, trying over and over and over and over again. Some persons have been socialized in a way where, as I mentioned, mommy and daddy might have grown them in a manner where if they ask for something, they get it right away. So they ask for the new iPhone and they get it, and so if it is that, they ask to be with a girl, usually the type of girl in which they would have been interested in, those girls might have been interested in them or interested in whatever they can offer them, because that's a thing as well. We have to be honest. Being socialized in such a way that you don't feel as though you can be turned down, that can be problematic for many persons. And so it ties into why some men can't handle rejection well, because they're simply just not used to being rejected, and so they're expecting that persons will always want to accept them, especially if it is that, hey, I look cute, I have the money, I have the education, why don't you want me? Who's out there that's better than me? Like, really? Really? Can you find another stunner like me? That's perhaps the attitude that they might have. Now, another point that we saw coming out of the voice notes was this: the effects of being bruised or having a bruised past. Based on the past relationships in which this individual has, this person might have been coming from a really rough situation, a really rough situationship, as we know them as. He might have been hurt or broken hearted, but now he's in such a vulnerable or revengeful state. He wants to get back into the game. He wants to prove his manhood, as some persons might refer to it as. I'm totally against that opinion. Showing your manhood means that you have to go out there and be with like 100 girls. No, gentlemen, no, that's not the way to do it. As a matter of fact, that takes away from your manlyhood. I just want to put that out there. But nevertheless, coming from a bruised past, that can be harmful to one's future and how one goes about, getting themselves involved in relationships. So let's say somebody is coming from a relationship where, let's say his girlfriend cheated on him, right? And he's now in a place of, I don't know, perhaps trying to seek revenge. I don't know. Trying to, just get out there and just be with as many girls as he wants to be with. And so let's say you were one of those girls that he had on the top of his list, and now he's trying to make that approach. Now he's trying to actually get you. And can you just imagine, somebody has already planned how it is that they're actually going to be a player, and they're going to play this game and they're going to win this game, and then the first try they actually got shut down. Like, can you just imagine how bad the person will actually feel? So that's another reason as to why some men can't handle rejection well. They're coming from somewhere that's dark, and so they have not found light as yet, and perhaps you're the only symbolization of what a light looks like, in your glory and all, looking all cute or hot, whatever. I don't know which one, but just being attractive to this individual, this person might just be all interested in you. And to be honest, sometimes guys aren't necessarily attracted to you, but they just want to show that, hey, they can be with you. You know, it's sad to say, and it's perhaps confusing, but I've seen this quite a few times as well. You know, some persons, and this is coming up, so let me just mention it right now. Entitlement. You know, some guys might just feel that, hey, they're entitled to have your attention because they are who they are, and the ego comes back into it as well. You know, where they might have been socialized. Come on, oh my God, look at all these words coming back when I'm making the final point. You know, because these guys feel so entitled to having your attention, or to having you as an individual, as a hot girl, as a cute girl, as a smart girl, whatever type of girl you are, as a Proverbs 31 type of girl. I don't know, you know, shout out to the Proverbs 31 type of girls out there, you know, hallelujah. You know, so I mean, yes, I know. So I mean, like, these guys might feel entitled in such a way that they've always gotten what they want. He's coming off a high, and so he feels as though whatever he goes after at this point in time, he must get as well. I must add to it that quite often some guys use scriptures, use biblical references to back their nonsensical behavior, where they might make it seem as though because they were given that position of being the head of the house, they should be, you know, aggressive or abusive or all these things, you know, towards women, you know, because they see women as less than them, when in actuality they couldn't be further from the truth, because that's simply just not the case. You know, I believe that a woman should actually be the helping hand that a guy needs, and need, because without women, I don't know what a lot of guys would be doing, to be honest. I can be a testament to that, you know, as it pertains to my mother, female friends, as it pertains to even past relationships that I've had, you know. But we just have to show respect, and this is me talking to the guys right now. Guys, we have to understand that if a lady turns us down, then it might just be for great reasons, even if it is that perhaps she might have misunderstood something that you have said or you have done in the past. Then you just have to, you know, try and move on, because the reality of things is that, you know, sometimes ladies might, you know, overlook you at first, but, you know, in the long run, they might just rethink whatever it is that they might have said before or might have done before, in terms of, you know, not wanting to be in a relationship with you. So just be yourself, you know, as best as possible, and if this person is for you, then this person is for you. And, you know, even as I mentioned that, I know that sometimes we can even walk outside of the will of God, and sometimes whenever it is that we have walked outside of the will of God, sometimes we miss the things in which we were actually supposed to get, if it were that we were walking in the will of God, as we should be walking in the will of God. But if it is that we're walking outside of the will of God, then, you know, come on, let's be honest. Let's be honest, you should be focusing on getting back into the will of God rather than even focusing on a relationship at all. So just get yourself back in line, and then the right person will come. We have to face reality as well. Not everybody will actually get into a relationship. Not everybody will get into a relationship. Not everybody wants to get in a relationship. So you have to be mindful of that reality as well. So sometimes you will approach a young lady and she's just not interested in anybody at all. Don't believe that because you're not the singing guy or you're not the flamboyant one in the crowd, don't believe that that's the reason why she didn't want to be with you. Sometimes these females are actually coming from some dark past, you know. Sometimes they've actually been hurt by so many guys, or at least one guy, you know, in the past, and so they're just not in the right frame of mind to actually be with anybody. And females tend to be really focused in the sense that they actually know what it is that they want, or quite often they do know what it is that they want, and so they know how to work for it. Or even if they don't know how to work for it, they'll try real hard, you know, in working for that, and they'll try to be as focused as possible. They'll try to move away from the crowd as best as possible just to get whatever it is that they want. And so if it is that they've chosen to move away from you and not accept your invitation to be in a relationship with you, then you just have to be understanding to that. As I mentioned before, some of them might just come around and you know, you might just start dating. So just make sure you're ready when you're ready. You know, that's the best I can say to you. But without further ado, I'll be sharing these two video clippings with you. So the first one will be from my friend Dawneth, and the second one will be from a brother from another mother, as I mentioned before, Phillip Pitter himself. Now, Phillip Pitter has something just like Speak Up. He has what he calls life lessons, and it's something that you should look out for, or you should actually go ahead and watch his videos, or just listen to his motivational speeches, or you can actually join him on different platforms as it pertains to his personal podcast that he has. And also, we have a project going on with me, Javaune Simpson, Phillip Pitter, and our another brother from another mother, Renard, Riddim, Anderson, where it's 2.5 Stooges. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, then you can go ahead and listen to that podcast as well. I'll be sharing the link to his page right there in the description below, so you can go ahead and check it out if it is that you want to check it out. And after that, I'll just be giving my other 2 cents as it pertains to those videos, and then we'll be out of here.
Why can't some men handle rejection well? Well, several reasons. Some men can't handle rejection well because 1, of the ego. For 2, it can be because of their past in terms of the childhood, their upbringing. So that could affect it as well. And also, I think that some of them can't handle rejection well based on like past relationships, what they encounter in past relationships. So those are my reasons for why men can't handle rejection well.
Hey guys, just wanted to talk to you quickly on that topic Javaune was talking about earlier, which is why some men can't handle rejection. Now, the first thing that we'd have to look at and admit is that generally speaking, men aren't really taught how to adequately process emotions, and by extension that would have an effect on how we process negative emotions, which rejection would fall under. Then secondly, we would have to then admit that generally as human beings we do not like being rejected, and that is part of even the reason why most women, or some women, I won't say most, because that's not wise to make that general statement, but some women would much rather have the men come to them even if they like them. Sometimes they send subtle signals that nobody can catch, like they're throwing them to nobody, so we can't catch a pass if we don't know if it is a pass. But so it is something that applies to both genders. But whereas women have been allowed or are really conditioned to talk about how they feel and to understand that's okay, men generally remain silent, and if they are not able to say to anyone or to express their emotions in any way positively, it tends to come out negatively. So for some people, when they get rejected, everybody know the popular Jamaican thing is where you say, yo, don't take out that type of thing. All of a sudden the girl is ugly, like she never look ugly when they look at her, what or that word. But so that is a major thing. But it also has something to do with a lack of self-confidence as well, because you can have the mental position that, hey, if you don't want me, you're missing out on a big deal, fam. Like, what's going on here is the real deal. So, if you want to miss out on it, that's your choice. But when you have that lack of self-confidence and then somebody rejects you, and it kind of brings some compound interest, and then you're not able to process it or say it to none of your brethren them, because they're going to laugh after you, or just joining at the cussing with you, not really allow you to process the emotions properly and say, yo, just nobody meds her brother, because if she not see your value, she not worth the time. When all of that builds up, then it just blows up in some dramatic way. So I just wanted to share that little part with you. Hope that helped, and we'll go back to the main man. Speak up.
Alright guys, and shout out to Dawneth and the Phillip Pitter. They're right, these are some of the things that we're actually going through as individuals. These are some of the things that we actually face on a day-to-day basis. And so this is Javaune Simpson, bringing another topic to you. I hope it was well received. I hope it is that you understood it. I hope it is that you actually liked it. If it is that you liked it, you can go ahead and press that like button. However, if it is that you disliked it, just go ahead and share in the comments why is it that you disliked it, or you can send me a private message and tell me why is it that you disliked it, so I can actually work on that if it is possible. You're tuned in to Speak Up. Continue watching some videos. I'll be leaving the link in the description as to the last video in which I did. So much love, God bless.